Kregon's Dark World presents A Fractured Mind, written by Toni, Lovely Bones Galliano, narrated by Kregon. Julie opened her eyes, and for the first time since the accident, she saw the sterile hospital room where she had been laying. She tried to move, but the searing pain in her body made her freeze. She could hear the soft beep of the machines that kept her alive, and the muffled voices of the doctors and nurses outside. She turned her head and saw her husband Mark sitting in a chair beside her bed. He looked haggard, with dark circles under his eyes, and his face was drawn with worry. She tried to speak, but her throat was dry, and the words came out as a croak. "What happened? Where am I?" Mark's eyes flickered to her face, and his expression softened with relief. "Oh, Julie, thank God you're awake. You were in a car accident. You've been in a coma for weeks." Julie felt a stab of panic in her chest. "What about our children? Are they okay?" Mark hesitated, and Julie felt a wave of dread wash over her. "What is it? What's happened to them?" "Julie," Mark said gently, "we don't have children. You know that." Julie felt like the floor had dropped out from under her. She had vivid memories of picking up her kids from school, of cooking dinner for them, of tucking them into bed at night. How could it all be a lie? She tried to remember the accident, but her mind was blank. She couldn't recall anything before waking up in the hospital. As the days turned into weeks, Julie began to notice strange inconsistencies in the world around her. The hospital staff changed every day, and none of them seemed to remember her name or her medical history. The other patients on her floor were all silent and withdrawn, staring blankly ahead. The food tasted like cardboard, and the television only showed static. Julie's sense of unease grew with each passing day, and she began to have disturbing nightmares. In them, she was trapped in a maze-like hospital, pursued by faceless figures with needles and scalpels. She woke up screaming, her heart pounding in her chest, and Mark would hold her until she calmed down. One night, Julie was lying awake, staring at the ceiling, when she heard a soft whisper. It was coming from the corner of the room, and she couldn't make out the words. She sat up, her heart racing, and saw a shadowy figure standing in the shadows. It was too dark to see any features, but Julie could feel its malevolent presence. "Who are you?" she asked, her voice shaking. The figure stepped forward, and Julie saw that it was a nurse, but not one she recognized. Her eyes were hollow, and her mouth twisted into a cruel smile. "I'm here to help you," she said, and Julie felt a cold shiver run down her spine. Julie started to piece together what was really going on. The hospital wasn't real. It was some kind of twisted nightmare. She was trapped in her own mind, and the only way to escape was to face the truth. One day, Julie demanded to see the hospital administrator. When he arrived, she told him what she had figured out. "This hospital isn't real. I'm not really here. It's all in my mind." The administrator looked at her with pity in his eyes. "I'm sorry, Julie, but you are here. You were in a terrible accident, and you've been in a coma for months. You're not well, and you need help." Julie shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "No, you don't understand. I remember now. Yes. It must truly be a hell of a dark world being eternally tortured in one's own fractured mind."